Good afternoon, all. How's everyone doing? It's been a long time since I've been up here, and I am making this post because, well, not post, but I'm making this video. I'm making this video because I seen a post. That's what I really wanted to say. I seen a post that says that our president, Mr. Donald Trump, is trying to make it a 2-year, 2 years for people to be on Section 8 and public housing. And I just wanted to reflect and add my 2 cents. And this is just my personal opinion. And it's my personal opinion because I've actually been through that before. I used to be on Section 8 when my children were very young. And I received all them services at one point. And I just want to say that there comes a time and a point and a time when you have to say to yourself, is this what I really want for myself? Do I want my children to grow up believing that this is the way? So, with that being said, anybody who's been on Section 8 longer than 10 years, come on, when are you going to say to yourself that I need better for myself and my family? So with me, that's what I did. It was a lot, but my kids don't remember it. They only remember seeing, what they grew up seeing, and it wasn't that. They don't remember ever being on any government assistance. But I say that to say, if you need it as a stepping stone, then use it for a stepping stone. But I know people have been on Section 8 40 years, 35. Our kids are 35 and 40, and I see, them still holding on to the Section 8 and holding on to government housing. And it's just, to me, it doesn't make any sense. Like, once the children get a certain age, being on government assistance doesn't work for you anymore, unless it works for you. It works for you because you're probably doing things to keep it. But when I was on government assistance, I hated it. I'm gonna tell y'all a story about how when I first got Section 8, my kids were very young, and I moved into an apartment unit. I think it was a 3-bedroom at the time. And when we got, I was happy about getting an apartment, but at the same time I was sad. And my friend couldn't understand what was my problem. Like, what? You just got an apartment? You cry? I was crying, y'all. I gotta tell y'all, I started to cry. And it wasn't crying because I was happy that I had an apartment and a roof over my head for me and my children, but at the same time, there was some worry in the back of my head. I was worried. So she was trying to figure out, like, you just got this apartment. Why are you crying? I was crying because the rent was $1,000 plus at the time, and majority of it was going to be being paid by the government. I didn't like it. I felt so vulnerable at that point. I was crying because the government was responsible for most of my rent, and if somebody's responsible for your stuff, you can sink at any minute. So, like, I felt like I can, like, it wasn't secure. It wasn't secure. I didn't feel secure with the government paying most of my rent. And so immediately after, moving into the apartment, I started working on myself and working on my kids. Were still little, so I thought to myself, I don't want them going through this when they get older. I don't want them to think that this is the end all be all. So I started working on doing things to get out of the situation, and it worked for me. Like, it actually worked for me. Like, you can actually use the government as a stepping stone and not stay dependent on it, because when you stay dependent on it, the government controls and rules your life, and you don't want the government to control and rule you and your family. So that was the reason why I was crying, and I can still feel the way I felt. That, I can still feel what I was feeling when I was crying that day. And also, the other thing is, I appreciated the help, and I appreciated being able to feed my family. But that's another thing, you're dependent on the government to feed your family, so they can pull the rug from underneath you at any time, and then you and your family have to figure it out and might even be starving. So those things didn't sit well with me, being a younger person. And I had people, like, saying things in my ear, people who were planning on staying on it, like right now, I can look back and they're still on it. 35 years you're still on it, and your kids been grown and out the house. And they were laughing at me and saying, oh, you doing all these things, and you paying all that rent, and you need to go down there and tell them that they made a mistake. After I got a job and my rents, my bills started to increase on my, for me to pay personally, I had people in my ear, like the people who were planning on staying on it, saying that I was, like, trying to make me know I'm doing something wrong. Laughing at me, calling me Miss Goody Two Shoes, calling me Superwoman. I had it all done to me. I had people, you just have to ignore people and do what you know is best. And being on government assistance wasn't what I wanted for my family. So to each his own. If you want that for yours, I'm not knocking you. You do what you have to do to maintain. But for me, it wasn't sufficient. It wasn't going to suffice. So I decided I was going to run down to Section 8, take myself off. I've been off of, once I got the job, I was no longer eligible for food stamps and my children were very young still then. But I don't know how unless you're disabled or elderly, I don't know how you can feel comfortable going. And that's another thing that I was very tired of. Running down to Section 8, not running down, but every year you have to have income verification and all that. So every year you have to answer a bunch of questions to the government. They want to know all your business, how much you make, who's living in your house, how much they make. You're filling out these questionnaires every year, and you're telling them all your damn, that type of scenario. But it wasn't for me. And I'm not saying that I live in I don't even own, but I'm self-sufficient. I can take care of myself, and I know what to do to keep myself afloat. So, and I help out with my grandkids every so often, and that's it. But if you're on government assistance, you really can't help anybody with anything. So think about that. And your children are seeing that, and they think that when they grow up, that's what they're supposed to do. None of my children are on government assistance. None of them need government assistance. Thank God. They watch mommy hustle. And so, with that being said, like, if you can do better, do it. Just do it. You don't have to be scared to get off of that's another thing. So a lot of people are scared to lose it, like, because you're so used to getting it. Like, I'm not trying to knock you. I'm just saying I understand how it feels, because I was scared too. Like, if I lose the Section 8, how are we gonna pay this rent? So I want to say, don't be scared. Don't be afraid. If you are on government assistance and you still, struggling with how to get off, I know you have to be tired of going and answering these questions every year. And then with Section 8, you have to wait. You have to have an appointment every year for them to inspect your home. So if you're working, you have to take off of work and be home so that you can receive, the inspection, so that you can continue getting it. And that's another vulnerability, because if they come in and they find something that that is not good with the apartment, they can they stop your rent. And so now you have this rent bill in the system over your head. But it just, it just wasn't something that I wanted for my family. I didn't want my girls and my children, all the children I was raising at the time, because we had a lot of kids coming in and out of our house. So, like we loved kids and still do. I just want to tell all the young people that you can be on government assistance for a while, but you should try to, don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to the naysayers. Try to get yourself together and get off of it, because when you look back, you'll say to yourself, I'm glad I did that. My children are self-sufficient. I'm self-sufficient. And I'm not rich. I'm not wealthy, but I can take care of myself. I don't need anybody for anything. And if that means working 2 jobs or doing some kind of side hustle, then that's what you have to do. You can't, sit around and expect the government to be the end all be all. That's not, and I want to tell you, I want to talk about, like there's people on government assistance who just, and that's to each his own, sit around all day smoking weed, getting drunk, hanging out on the weekends, and that's just their lifestyle. It's very comfortable for them. And I had people who were on government assistance doing that kind of thing, and in my ear, like I was doing something wrong, and making themselves look rich, like making themselves seem like they had more than me. Because now you on government assistance, but you got a man from outside, and he's got a little job, so you feel like you on top of the world because y'all not paying no big rent, and you get to keep all those funds to buy all the material things that you like to floss on people with. But in the back of my mind, I already knew it all was, it's not gonna end well when you have that kind of mindset. Like, you have to change your mindset. You're gonna grow up and be an old person and regret a lot of things that, like, some use it as a stepping stone is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, and it's, like, you don't even have to, if you don't want to work a job, fine, but start a business, do something to, not have to depend on anybody to, take care of you. And so that's all I wanted to say today. I just wanted to say that, yeah, if you can get off of government assistance, try. I did it. I'm not no genius. I didn't, there's still things that I want to do, that I haven't done. Still things that I'm learning. I'm still learning. Every day is a learning process. And, I can honestly say that I don't miss being on government assistance, and I will never, ever go back to government unless I'm absolutely starving and I cannot do anything for myself. Other than that, I don't miss it. And once you become self-sufficient, you won't miss it either. So I just want to say that. And I'm just telling you because I care about you, and I care about your well-being, and I care about your family, how your family is gonna, how your children will turn out. Because like I said, I raised plenty of children. I raised a lot of people's children, and I love kids, but I want them, especially our kids, to go on the right path, because everybody thinks that, that's what we are, Section 8. That's, so just do things to improve yourself. Always try to be better. Always try to get better for yourself. And this is not a shot at nobody. You don't want people to feel like you're coming for them. I'm not coming for anyone. I'm just putting it out here that I was once on government assistance household. And our kids grew up, they were able to move out the house and be self-sufficient. So with that being said, you can do it. You can do it. I'm living proof that you can do it. I started off like on government assistance, and I'm not afraid to say it. It's just don't stay on it. It's not it's not going to do anything. Let me tell you, I remember I just want to tell you, is if this is, I just remember it, and it every time I remember those things, it's just a reminder for me to just keep on pushing. But my oldest child is biologically not my husband's, so I remember having her and getting on government assistance. And guess how much money I was getting every 2 weeks on public assistance. Yeah, and I don't know how the hell I was doing that, but it felt so bad and it felt awful. $109 every 2 weeks. Can you imagine? Couldn't get anything, couldn't buy anything, couldn't pay, barely can pay anything. And that's just not the way you want to live. $109 every 2 weeks, $109 every 2 weeks, and about 200 and something, I think, in food stamps once a month. And then the government was paying the rent. That's not the way. You don't want to live like that. That's So anyway, I can tell you a long story about my life. I know some people might not be interested, but I'm just trying to help someone who may be in that predicament now and don't know how they're going to do it. Go get some certifications as graduates, but that's neither here or there. What I want to tell you is that you can do it. I just want to tell you that you can get off of government assistance if you put your mind to it. So with that being said, I love you. I wish the best for you, and I hope that you and your family prosper. And that is all. I will be uploading another video soon, and I know I'll be waiting too long in between videos to post anything, but I love you guys, and I want the best for you and your family, and I want us all to keep striving for greatness. That is it. That is my message. And if you like what I just talked about, hit the like button, comment, subscribe to my channel. I haven't been posting a lot lately because I've been really busy trying to figure things out. But I love you guys. Take care. Peace.